Alright guys, I'm just going to do a little bit of an update on my fish room in this video and show you some of the things that are going on, some of the things that I've moved about and some of the things that are coming. And I did promise in the last video that I would show you that new species of fish, so we'll do so. Let's go and do it. Alright, so we'll start with the angelfish. So we've got the Rio Nani angelfish and we've also got the albino platinum pearl scales to show you. So first, these are the Rio Nani. No change in here, and obviously if you remember as well that I did add this pair of Santa Persa in there. I'm not sure whether it's male and female. I was sold them as a pair, but I don't know. I'm not really good at sexing them. There's the little rainbow cichlid. So he was one that managed to stay with me from my brood that I took to Burton Ernie's, and he's coming on a tree, or she. Now, for those of you that don't know, these plants on bogwood I did myself. So basically, I bought some Anubias and I put them on with Gorilla Glue. They're not doing the best. I think I probably need better lighting if I'm honest, but they're still going. They've not died off. I think that stuff on that Anubis on that wood there is doing better. So we'll see how they go. I've had them on for about a month now, so we'll see. We'll see. That was my first time I've ever put plants on bogwood, and I used the Gorilla Glue, guys. It's pretty good stuff, that. So it's aquarium friendly apparently. Anyway, the angelfish, still no signs of pairing in this tank, but they are growing. A couple of them are growing really big. That one there is a really good size. And the stir-by, so check the stir-by out. Let me get you around there. Sorry, the camera angle is really bad because I'm going around the back of the tank. So yeah, the stir-by are coming on a treat. They are real big chunks now, and I've got 9 in there, so I will be getting some more of them. So yeah, that's the angelfish, all doing fine, buzzing. And I think what we'll do is, before we do it, we'll feed them some flake. They do like flake in this tank. We do feed them other stuff, so let's throw some flake in there for him, and the angels will munch on that. Obviously some of it will sink to the bottom, so the Corydoras will eat them, but what I'll do when I put this camera down is I will throw some like little Corydoras tablets in. I've got the Corydoras ones from Fish Science, and I've got some others, but we'll throw some of them in. And obviously these Santa Perca, beautiful them, aren't they? If anybody knows much about these, let me know how I can sex them. Do I have a male and a female, or do I have 2 males or 2 females? Beautiful fish that. Look at them, they are stunning. Yeah, let me know, guys. And the Corydoras is here, look, stir by. Do love them. So yeah, how nice are those Rio Nani? They are absolutely amazing, unbelievable. Yeah, they do love the flake, I must admit. Anyway, let's move on to another tank. Just before I show you, I'm going to show you Trigger in a minute, and we'll feed Trigger some pellets, but ignore this mess. Basically what's happening here is I've got 2 tubs of water with aquarium salt in. That's for the new species, and that's for my Oscar tank. One of my Oscars has been getting a little bit, so the Severin, the Inarita Severin's been giving him a bit of jip, so I'm going to put some salt in. I do think aquarium salt's one of the best you can use, one of the best meds, instead of just going straight for the meds. That little box there has got a load of frying from my Guntherite swordtails, so pretty buzzing about that. So I only managed to get about 12. When she was laying them, she just kept eating them, but I've saved about 12, which is nice because I've only bred these for me for now. And then we've got the Nicaraguan pair that you saw, he's sulking. She's in there. The Nicaraguan pair you saw in the last video, so they're doing all right. And then we're going to go down to Trigger in a minute, but the reason I'm showing you this part is because I have ordered a 4x2x2 tank. I know I said I was going to go 6 foot, but I've decided to go 4x2x2. Reason being, spin you round, lights are not on this unit. We're going to get a bigger tank on this unit instead, because I can put a 6x2 on this unit and then have like a 2x1x2, something like that, to grow my fry out. So that's what I'm doing. So it's going to be a 4x2 on this stand, and then I can keep that tank on this stand as well. That's about 150 litre, I think. So yeah, anyway, let's go down to Trigger. Obviously Trigger is on the bottom, and he is doing well. And I tell you something, these snails, these apple snails, you can only actually see 2, but there's about 10 in there, and they're absolutely massive, the other ones. They are the best tank makes I could have ever given, because if you remember, this tank, I used to say I hated it because of the amount of algae and crap that was in it, but these are the best cleanup crew you can get, honestly. These cleanup crew, and he's not bothered with him. I'm just going to attach a video that I did on my Insta of a reel of him just staring one out, which is quite funny. So you'll see that'll be on this bit now, just to show you. It's quite funny, really. But yeah, he is absolutely stunning as always. No change. He just big daft Trimac, and honestly, he's growing so much at the moment. He had an absolute growth spurt, like I said. But yeah, his tanks are much better now. So obviously having these apple snails, I mean, there's one of the bigger ones. I mean, you can't really see how big they are. I got them off Mark, who I follow on Instagram, and he sent them me as a gift, and they were dead small because he just bred them. And I had him in another tank, but then I put him in this tank, and the amount of algae and crap in this tank, they just absolutely grew. And they've been in here about a month with him. He's never harmed any of them. He's never had any of them in his gob. It's quite funny to watch sometimes when he does stare at them, like in that video you've just seen. So yeah, Trigger's doing great. But anyway, we're going to move on from Trigger now and check out another tank. So, just before we go to the Angel tank, I'm going to show you my heater and talk to you about my heater. So, I mentioned that obviously I was going into winter and I was going to try and heat the room. Well, I am heating the room now. I've been heating the room for now, I think this is about 4 weeks, and I use this oil rad heater, and I do actually have a rad in here as well. So when the heating's on, that basically takes over from this. But I have this set at, anyway, let me show you. So the temperature gauge is 74, and that's usually about where it stays. As you can see, it's not on right now. It's got a thermostat, and I have, so there is heaters. So this is the Angel tank I'm going to show you. There is an heater in here, but none of the heaters in the tank are on at the moment. So I did it slowly, if that makes sense. I took a couple out, the ones that I thought could handle the lower temps, and best thing I've done, just heating the room. It is quite warm in here now when I'm stood in here, but you know, we've gone from all those external filters and all those heaters plugged into just basically one pump. Well, I've got 2 pumps actually, because I'm running another air pump on one of the other tanks, but so 2 air pumps and 1 oil rad. And honestly, every time I'm in this room, that oil rad light is not on, but I would imagine obviously through the night time it would be on more. Anyway, it's working well, and there is no heaters on in any tank, so yeah, we're doing fine. These are the albino platinum pearl scales. That's my female Gunther I saw tail. She did kill the male, which I was gutted about, but I have got this female, 6 young in here, and about 12 young growing out in that tub. So, you know, we will get a tank and put them in it as a little colony like. Those Fuller Eye Corridorus are doing great. So yeah, this is, obviously as you've noticed in last fish room video, I said to you that I was upgrading stuff. So the Jag's got an upgrade. The Extra Spears had an upgrade, so have these Angels. So this now is this 2-foot cube. So everything's been getting an upgrade, and when I get that 4x2, it'll just give me a bit more room to put some other fish in. But I'll show you my Vieja tank, which I call my Vieja tank, in a minute, and show you how it's pretty heavily stocked and to why I need that 4x2x2. But these are beautiful. You know, I moved these about 2 weeks ago. Such a stunning angelfish. I mean, check out the eyes. Check the eyes out on them. Look at that. Beautiful. They're doing well. No pairing off with them either yet. So, yeah, we'll see what happens. But I think now we've got a bit more room, we're happy. So, yeah, anyway, let's move on to another tank. Alright, guys, so this is that Vieja tank that I've talked about. And this tank, ever since I moved in this house, is always overstocked. Now, I moved the Extra Spear into here, so there's my Etrospia are into here. There's the big biffa. I did get rid of the other biffa because they were fighting really badly. My pair of multifasciatus are in here, and that new pair of Nicaraguans are in. There's the male under the wood, and the female is in the tube. He is massive. He is about 8 or 9 inches, and she's about 5 to 6 inches. I've never seen Nicaraguans as big as these two, and they are stunning. So that was the pair I got from Matt. As you'll see, the Waru is in here too. Now, the reason the Waru is in here, because a few weeks ago, I moved my living room tank that was in the front of the house into the living quarters in the back of the house. That don't make sense, does it? So the area we live in is at the back of the house. It was in the front of the house, and I've moved it into the area that we live in now because we was having new carpets fitted. Check those Nicaraguans out. So yeah, I did let the Fenestratus go, and they have gone to a good home. They're doing really well, and yeah, all good. Now this tank, as you can see, is quite heavily stocked, but what's going to happen is when I get that 125 gallon US, and I think it's 450 litres UK, I am going to move the Bifasciatus, the Waru, and we're leaving the Waru. I'll be honest with you, I didn't put the Waru back into the Oscar tank because it didn't move very well, and as you can see now, it's on point. It's absolutely on point, and it's absolutely better in this tank, so I'm just leaving it. I think it's an old fish, this, if I'm honest with you, but it's a beautiful, beautiful Waru, isn't it? So I'm going to move the Bifasciatus, the Waru, and probably the Nicaraguans or the Etrospia into the new tank. Now that will give me more room. Obviously I've got a pair of multifasciatus in there. I need to think, so the next new tank I'll be getting will be dedicated to them, and then I'll just be left with a few of whatever's left, and it's not much, you know what I mean? So, but yeah, that's that tank. I can't wait to get the new tank just to spread the love. I have put 2 internal filters in here just to cope. Obviously we are now on sponge filters, as I said before. There's 4 sponge filters, and then there's 2 internal filters, which obviously when I take some of the stock out, we will absolutely take them out as well. Okay, so at this point I was going on with myself, and my microphone had run out, so I have had to do a voiceover. So the new fish, the new species, is the Andinoacara stolzbergi, and if you've been watching my channel, you will know I have droned on and on and on about getting this fish. So I am absolutely buzzing. I got 4 of them. This footage was taken 2 days after I'd added them to the tank, so they are quite nervous, but yeah, absolutely buzzing. We will do a proper update on these going forward when they're a bit more confident and more happy to see me. I cannot believe that I actually got my hands on these. Never mind 1, I got 4. And if you remember, I did have 1 for 2 years, but it died when we moved house, and I never thought I would get the chance to own this species again. They are in a tank on their own, so there's just these 4 plus a couple of calico BNs, and they're just controlling the algae for me. All right then, guys, we're going to wrap this video up now. Okay, so thank you for watching, and thank you for the support. As always, it does mean a lot. Thank you for all the subscriptions, likes, comments, shares, whatever it be. The interaction means so much. And if you're not subscribed, guys, consider subscribing. It is free of charge, completely your choice. You just press the subscribe button, ping that bell for notifications, and that is it. So I'm going to leave it there, and I will see you all on the next one.